Jump center against Shaq Goodwin. Ellis 6'10", Goodwin 6'9". Cincinnati basketball and Troy Copain, who has cut his turnovers almost in half from a year ago.
And as I mentioned, though, the problem against this very good Memphis defense is that he finds the range. 26% from the field over the last 4 games. He's got to be a threat as the point guard, and right there, misfired on his first shot.
Markel Crawford brings it up to Tarrant, the transfer, the graduate student from Alabama. This is Sam Kraft, who was a running back on the football team, now getting a lot of playing time, and they go into Goodwin for the dunk.
Well, that time Cincinnati in a matchup zone, there was a little bit of a mix-up that left Shaq Goodwin wide open. And as I said, whoever controls that real estate in the paint, be it Goodwin and Lawson from Memphis or Ellis and Clark for Cincinnati, whoever controls that real estate wins this game.
Clark backing in, little fadeaway jump shot, and hits it. The sophomore from Clayton, North Carolina, who Mick Cronin said one day will be an All-American.
That day is coming soon. When you look at Gary Clark's numbers and what he's been able to do, both as freshman and now his sophomore year.
Good feed to the dynamic freshman Dedrick Lawson. There's Josh Pastner in his 7th year as the Memphis head coach. He's won 138 ball games. Excuse me, 158 ball games. Last year was a tough outing for this ball club. They were 18-14. First time under 24 wins in the last 5 years. Right now they are on track to be a tournament team again, as 2 free throws go down for Lawson, who's a 66% free throw shooter. Memphis leads the nation in free throws made per game, 22.1 per contest. And that's the strength of Cincinnati, playing defense without foul.
Yeah, taking advantage of the freedom of movement. Really, Memphis has had success. And Troy Copain, that's the kind of threat he has to be. Loosens up the defenses.
They go for the home run and turn it over. Copain quickly back the other way, and Farad Cobb, their best shooter, Shaq Thomas, hits the baseline jumper, and here's full court pressure from Cincinnati.
And that's a sight for sore eyes for Cincinnati. Shaq Thomas, he needs to get on track as well offensively. Came in this game 4 of 16, including 0 points against Houston a couple of games ago.
Lawson, beautiful move into the paint, but he couldn't finish. Mick Cronin, who was on the sidelines a year ago on medical leave, he's 100% healthy. Before he came to Cincinnati, the head coach at Murray State. His team has suffered some tough losses this year. Good pass inside to Clark, and he is fouled by Crawford.
And that's one of the hallmarks, Mike, of this Cincinnati offense. The ability of these guys, Ellis, Clark, to be able to pass in a closet. They're outstanding interior passers.
Clark, who made the All-ACC rookie team a year ago, we saw him several times. He needs to be more aggressive at times.
Well, you saw Ellis right there recognize as soon as Goodwin came over to help, he was able to dump it down to Clark. The best thing about both of those guys, when they get the ball in the post, they turn and they catch the defense, survey, and find out where the defense is going before they make their moves.
Clark has 4. Kraft was an outstanding high school basketball player, so he's not just a football guy trying to play this sport, and he played against so many of these kids who were on the roster. Crawford drives, rejected at the baseline by Clark. Copain quickly back the other way. They'll go inside every time they have the opportunity, and this time it's successful to Ellis.
And that's why Troy Copain's ability to stretch the defense along with Farad Cobb makes it easier to get it inside to their bigs. The defense is not so prone to try to sag in and take away the big fellas.
They like to work with Lawson in the middle, but he has his shot rejected. Outstanding defense by Cincinnati, and then Cobb on the run, but he misses.
And the same thing goes for Memphis. They're going to have to find a way to loosen the defenses up.
Lawson walked.
Sometimes you have a tendency to try to do too much, but you take a look right there, trying to drive to the basket, and Octavius Ellis as well as Gary Clark. Johnny's on the spot. I don't know what Markel Crawford was trying to do. I think he was trying to throw it down on the big fellas. They haven't none of that.
Might want to rethink that. 10-4 early lead for Cincinnati. Cobb has been solid as a shooter this year, particularly from long range. Ellis trying to drive and powered it up against the freshman Lawson. 10 straight points for the Bearcats.
Octavius Ellis playing some of his best basketball.
Back door and another block. Clark just hanging around the lane, rejects another one. Cincinnati playing tremendous defense early.
And also getting the job done in the paint. Offensive rebounds, interior passing, high percentage shots.
Shaq Thomas with a miss. Goodwin unhappy as he hits the floor, wanted a foul called, and didn't get it. They love to work with Lawson in the lane, but he lost the ball on the way up. It will be Memphis basketball when we come back. A great start for Cincinnati.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Viagra.
Lost by a bucket. And then, coming off of this game, a double overtime loss against Temple, 67-65 in Philadelphia. Out of the corner, Avery Woodson, who has been the savior for them for outside, lost his starting job, but comes off the bench now as instant offense, shooting better than 38% from long range, and they needed that bucket.
They certainly did. Again, when we talk about whoever controls the paint will win this game so far, but Troy Copain's starting to heat up. So far, Cincinnati has made a down payment on that real estate. Their bigs are 3 for 3 from the field. Memphis, between Goodwin and Lawson, just 1 of 5.
Try to get the ball inside, and Octavius Ellis commits his first personal foul.
And you add to that 3 blocks by Cincinnati against the team that's second in the nation in block shots. That's Memphis. Both Lawson and Goodwin average a little over 2 blocks per game.
It's the kind of game that will test your resolve if you're trying to get rebounds. Lawson.
Test your heart, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to Burrell. Burrell with a runner. The senior from Albany, New York.
And again, you can see the Memphis style of defense. They'll extend their defense. Their guards will get up in your face, utilize their length and their quickness to try to strip you of the ball. And then if you get by them, they have the 2 shot blockers in the game, as I mentioned before. As a team, Memphis averages almost 7 blocks per game. Good enough for second in the country.
Cobb drops it off, gets it back to the top of the circle. Memphis with a solid bench. 5 to shoot. Cobb can't penetrate. Goes back outside to Shaq Thomas. Only averaging 6.8 points a game.
I'll tell you what, though, he shot that with a purpose. No hesitation. Full confidence. And if he gets it going, that means a lot of trouble for Memphis.
Nice. Goodwin, nice backdoor cut for the easy layup. Beautiful pass to Burrell.
See the pressure right here, trying to speed Cincinnati up. As I mentioned before, Memphis would rather play this game in the high 70s and 80s.
Coriante DeBerry who lost about 25 pounds in the offseason. He looks like a different guy. But Memphis beats him back down court, get the easy bucket from Goodwin and the foul. Good hustle.
Well, you look at this screen and roll, and a nice job by Cobb finding DeBerry as he rolls. And then down here, DeBerry scores, but Shaq Goodwin, the senior, utilizing that high basketball IQ, figures, okay, you beat me on that end, I'm beating you down the floor on the other end. And it pays dividends.
Goodwin hits the free throw. He has 5 first-half points, and Memphis closes to within 4.
You wonder why a lot of big men don't recognize it. Oftentimes, you can run the floor several times. You beat your man down, you're going to get easy baskets. So many guys would rather trail instead of beat their people down the floor.
Offensive foul.
Wow.
Gary Clark lowered his shoulder. That's probably why he had the call against him. First turnover for Cincinnati in this ballgame.
That's a good call.
It was. And once you lower the shoulder, you're in trouble.
Yeah, if you lower your shoulder after your defender is stationary, you're going to get called for it, no question.
Burrell will try a 3 and knocks it down. Treshawn Burrell, only shooting 28% from long range, now has 7 points in this game, and the lead's down to 1.
But if you look at this Memphis team, you have a lot of guys that are scoring pretty well, but they're only shooting 40% from the field. So this is a volume scoring team, which means they need a lot of possessions to get to that 78 points.
Shaq Thomas hits another one. He is on fire tonight. Shaq Thomas almost to his season's average here in the first half.
And the way Memphis gets those possessions, they turn opponents over, average 16 times again. They block shots. They're +7 in free throws made.
Tarrant in and out, halfway down, loose ball and a foul inside. This is going to be on Shaq Goodwin.
Well, that paint is no place for the faint of heart.
Not tonight.
Game.
Quadri Moore has checked in for Cincinnati. He gets the ball in the lane, tries to dump it even lower and loses it. Tarrant. Switch from the left to the right hand and put it in. Ricky Tarrant, a proven point guard and a proven scorer. Really good addition to a Memphis team that had 5 players transfer out from last year's squad, some of whom they really didn't mind seeing going out the door.
Yeah, this allows Josh Pastner to employ what he likes to employ as far as offense is concerned. Transition, good defense turning into good offense.
Speaking of good defense, good one there. Memphis ball, Tarrant on the run. Into the corner to Woodson. He's the long-range threat. He buries another jumper.
And the look on Kevin Johnson's face as Woodson rolls up and knocked that down. His heels are about an inch away from that sideline. That was a long shot.
Memphis takes the lead. Johnson back the other way with a miss, 1 and done. Here comes Tarrant, the quick outlet to Burrell. They got on Woodson that time before he had a chance to get off another shot.
Memphis has regained kind of control of the tempo.
Goodwin called for the ball inside. A lot of contact, no whistle. And here's a reach-in foul on Burrell. It stopped the fast break. What's trending in college basketball? We'll tell you when we come back to Cincinnati with Memphis on top.
Get the job done, and it's tough to win on the road. We got all these so-called upsets. Most of the favorites have been beaten on the road. Every bounce is scouted, player familiarity. You know, the powerhouses have lost stars to the NBA, and it's really increased the parity.
Memphis trying to steal one at home. Great drive by Copain for the layup. By the way, Memphis got back in this ballgame by hitting 6 of its last 9 shots. And the Memphis bench has contributed 13 of the 22 points so far.
And I talked about Troy Copain needing to get his eye to become more accurate offensively. I like the fact that he's taking high percentage shots. That gets your confidence back.
Lawson couldn't handle the pass. Evans, the freshman, in and out on his jumper. Hustles into the corner but can't save it. Tarrant back the other way. Memphis trying to move the ball. Burrell with a miss.
Memphis not shy about putting it up. Their first good look, they're going to take it. Again, they want to increase that tempo.
Johnson, nice drive. Got inside against Woodson.
And Cincinnati, even though right now they're answering and taking a 2-point lead in this kind of quick tempo basketball, they can't be lured into fool's goal. That's not necessarily their game.
No, the tempo very much favoring Memphis so far.
I mean, Cincinnati is definitely an improved offensive team, but their comfort level is executing in their half court.
Shot clock at 1. Woodson beats it. Woodson, known for his outside shooting, went inside the arc and then with a head fake got a wide open shot. He has 8 first half points.
Well, that's double what he's averaged over the last 3 games, which is only 4 points. So it seems like everybody's finding the range right now.
It's a good shooting night.
Take a look right here. He just gets past his man. Nice mid-range shot. Woodson usually known for knocking down threes.
That's why he was able to get by Copain, gave him the head fake, and then beat him inside the arc. Copain trying to answer on the other end with a miss. Good save by Burrell.
Copain was probably trying to go to Ellis later. That's why he double clutched.
Woodson with a lob, knocked away and stolen. Good defense again by Cincinnati. Clark inside. That's the 4th turnover by Memphis. Copain again. Wheels in the lane with a floater.
And that's the Troy Copain everyone expected this year. With that type of offense, utilizing that upper body strength, taking the bumps in the paint.
Goodwin looked for a pass, then decided to take his own shot. Woodson all alone. Way too strong. And Copain will bring it down for the Bearcats. They nurse a 2-point lead. Three-second violation on Octavius Ellis as he worked for his shot. 7:31 to go in a very competitive first half. Best in the American Conference, and his 2 points tonight have come on 2 free throws. That's it. And he had early opportunities, 10, 12 feet from the bucket, and couldn't take advantage.
Well, going back to the original storylines, tempo. Right now, this is a Memphis-style tempo, but Cincinnati flourishing in it. Look at this.
Always somebody waiting at the rim. The 5th block of the night for the Cincinnati defense. They can't get the 3 coming the other way, and here comes Burrell. The pass too long. Intended for Markel Crawford, could only get a fingertip on it.
As I was saying, after those last 2 possessions, this is a Memphis tempo.
Yes, it is.
No question about it, but Cincinnati flourishing. And one of the reasons is if Memphis is going to try to take it coast to coast, you got the eraser, Octavius Ellis, right there to erase the mistake. And when you talk about Troy Copain, he has really kind of loosened up the Memphis defense with his exploits. He's not on the floor right now, but he's done a terrific job of getting their offense started.
Johnson, the bucket and the foul. What a drive by Johnson.
Again, using the high screen, you got to pay attention to the roll. And that's what Lawson did when Clark rolled, and that allowed Kevin Johnson all that little bit of room to take it between the 2 guards and get to the basket. The shot blocker wasn't there, and Johnson took advantage.
Number 2 on Goodwin. And Johnson, the junior out of Cincinnati, a 70% free throw shooter.
And to finish the point, the third thing, the control of the paint. Right now, Cincinnati has the edge, particularly since Dedrick Lawson has yet to score from the field.
Foul on Johnson, his first. Kraft will check out. Tarrant comes back on the court for Josh Pastner. Well, as you said, Len, the tempo has been in favor of Memphis, but the scoreboard shows Cincinnati on top by 5, so they have not taken advantage.
And we've seen them, the attempts to run out, push the ball in transition. Cincinnati's done a nice job of getting back defensively.
That pass goes right through Goodwin's hands.
And then there are the unforced errors.
6 turnovers here in the first half, and Cincinnati able to take advantage again to go up by 7. Lawson back in the game, still looking for that first shot. This could be a 4-point play.
Wow.
Shaq Thomas commits the foul, and Woodson buries the three-pointer in his face and will go to the line on top of it.
Well, first of all, fifth-year senior, you got to know better. Outstanding ball movement by Memphis around the horn. That's what ball reversal does. It catches the defenses in rotation. You make the extra pass, somebody's going to get a good look.
Woodson with 11 points. He cuts the lead to 4. Give him a dozen. 4-point plays cut into a lead pretty quickly, don't they?
You certainly do it. It also gets you a seat on the bench.
Yeah, if you're part of that defense. Clark kicks it out to a wide-open Johnson. Too strong on the jumper.
And once the ball goes inside and Copaine's not on the floor, you see the Memphis defense sag.
A reach in and a steal. Just took it away from Woodson, and then he commits the foul. Very careless ball handling and some woofing going on.
I thought that was congratulatory. Nice play. Very good.
You're very optimistic. There are a couple of guys out here who don't mind woofing at each other. Jake McDowell, number 42, who doesn't get much playing time, is in there from Memphis. Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. This should be a great ball game. 2 Player of the Year candidates lead their teams. Melo Trimble at number 7 Maryland against Denzel Valentine, number 11 Michigan State. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Boy, in that game, you got a desperate Spartan team trying to avoid a 3rd loss in a row at home. You know, against the Maryland team that survived Northwestern in overtime.
Yes, survived is the right word, but Melo Trimble takes over at the end, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Speaking of guys who took over, the great Oscar Robertson, who was a fixture at these ball games, the walking triple-double.
And Melo Trimble is the go-to guy. He has really led a team that has established themselves, both the youth of that team as well as the veterans.
The thing you got to like about Trimble, he is so unselfish until it comes to crunch time. Then he knows it's his time to take over. Jumper goes over the back, support off the hands of Treshawn Burrell. You talked about tempo at the beginning of this telecast. Memphis has had it their way, but it's yet to pay off.
Yeah, they've, again, turned the ball over. They've been thwarted a couple of times on transition baskets by good Cincinnati defense.
Good ball movement gets him a jump shot out of the corner from Evans. Knocked out of bounds to Cincinnati. Bearcats have yet to hit a 3, 0 for 7. Copane comes back in the ballgame after a good rest, and Kevin Johnson will sit. Cobb really hasn't had many opportunities in this ballgame. Clark couldn't get it down.
That's really the matchup they want. Clark against McDowell. They got to look for that a little harder. Clark got a good shot off there. I think if you go to him often enough, he's going to have some success.
Lawson can't get on track with his shot. There's only 2 points on free throws.
And it won't happen with the fadeaway. He's got to be more assertive, take it strong.
Copain. Beautiful first half for Troy Copain. He has 10, only averages 10.8. And back the other way, Jake McDowell, who averages a half point a ball game, gets a bucket. Josh Pastner going deep into his roster. The little guys who are leading the way scoring. .349 and counting. First half from Cincinnati. Copain brings it up against man-to-man pressure from Kraft. Clark, they'd like him to be more aggressive. This time he is with a turnaround jumper in the lane. Lawson with a rebound.
He's got to get a little air under that shot, but he got it right where he needed to. A little 7-footer right in front of the rim. Just couldn't knock it down. That's twice now he's worked against Jake McDowell and hasn't been able to really find the range. He's got to understand when he's got a defender like McDowell and he's got to go to work.
Shot clock at 7 and buried by Lawson. It's only a 28% long-range shooter, but he drills that one for his first field goal of the night. We're tied at 33.
Oh, if it gets too congested inside, you step outside.
Copain got it inside to Clark. He was double-teamed, and a foul.
You take a look right there. A little pin down by McDowell just freed Lawson. And even though he's shooting around 29-30%, you know, you give him one. After that, you got to go out there and you got to guard him, try to take his confidence away. And on this end, Gary Clark gets to the free throw line. Instead of trying to post him up straight up, they decide to get him out on the floor, make his defender move with him. And with the lob, the help came over too late as Lawson fouled.
Both of these teams good free throw shooting clubs. Clark, who's 68.5% from the line, now has 5. Cincinnati as a team shoots over 70%. And Memphis as a team shoots almost 73%.
And both of these teams, when you look at them by comparison to their opponents, are in the plus category as far as free throws made per game. Cincinnati +4, Memphis a +7. Memphis scores almost 30% of their points from the line.
Tarrant, nice cut, nice pass, and a foul. This will be on Jacob Evans, his first. Saturday at 6:30 on ESPN. 6:30 Eastern, Melo, Trimble, Denzel Valentine is number 7 Maryland and number 11 Michigan State hook up. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. There's so many good teams this year.
Yeah.
Teams with a chance to win it all at the end. I don't know, maybe 15, don't you think?
I would say at least 10 that I can speak of that I know with a break here, a break there, can run the table. 6 games in the tournament.
Copain, it is his night. 13 points for Troy Copain. When you're feeling it, you're feeling it. Tarrant, the veteran. And the foul was Lawson tries to drive. Foul on Gary Clark, gets his second. Coming up at the half, Kevin Connors, Kara Lawson on the Land Rover halftime report. Duke, Michigan State, both tumbling. The Blue Devils losing to 3 straight unranked teams. And the chances of SMU staying perfect. Plus we'll have highlights and stats all coming up at the half. Lawson out of Memphis, graduated high school early. A parade All-American and a consensus top 30 prospect. just so smooth.
And he's putting up numbers. Second in the conference in rebounding, 6th in scoring. Averages about 3+ offensive rebounds per game. That's good for 4th. And the 5-time conference rookie of the week.
That's a record. In the history of this young league, nobody has ever been named more than 5 times. Boy, Copain can do no wrong. Troy Copain with 15 first-half points, and the Bearcats are back up by 4.
And I tell you what, Copain actually got hit a little bit, and he's kind of suffering right now. Hopefully he'll shake it off. But when you go 0 for 10 in a big game as he did against Houston, fortunately Kevin Johnson kind of bailed the team out. You know, you go and you work on some stuff, and you can see Copain went back and worked on his game, worked on his shot. It's paid off.
He's within 5 points of his career high. And out of the corner, it's Avery Woodson. Woodson having the same kind of night for Memphis that Copain is for Cincinnati. We are back to a 1-point game. Game you would think for Cincinnati, you've got to defend your home court.
Yeah, Cincinnati 2-2 in the last 4 games, and you say you've got to protect this house. Their defense remains constant. They've needed a lift offensively, and Troy Copain has taken that to heart.
Well, hasn't he ever? The Berry outside to Evans, goes baseline, got inside and used the window. Nice move by Jacob Evans, highly recruited out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yeah, talking to Mick Cronin before the game about Evans. You know, they just like the fact that he knows how to play. He knows where he's supposed to be, plays solid defense. And as a freshman, you know, his offensive nose will come. As you can see, he's got the skill, he's got the size.
6 on the shot clock for Tarrant. He'll try a 3. Wow, that was way off target. Got caught in no man's land. A rare offensive rebound, and now they can work the shot clock down. Tarrant will go against Copain. 5 seconds left. Copain, nice defense. Got into the big guys, and they're there to block another shot. Cincinnati's interior defense has been terrific, and Troy Copain has been terrific on the other end. He's hit 7 out of 9 shots from the floor. Playing with a great deal of confidence in the first half, departing from his usual point guard role. Memphis with the ball to start the second half. Dedrick Lawson unable to get on track much of the first half, and Memphis turns it over on its first possession.
Yeah, trying to space Lawson and Goodwin out, play a little high-low, and Goodwin lost that against the Cincinnati matchup zone. You know, they try and follow you as long as they can, make it look like a man-to-man. Here, Memphis is playing straight zone.
Baseline jumper by Ellis won't go, but Cincinnati gets the rebound. Copain with a miss. Kraft on the run into the lane. Nice floater.
Looked like a wide receiver going out there, grabbing the ball in midair on the pay dirt.
Well, he's a running back.
But he looked like a wide receiver.
Yeah, he did. Looked like he smelled the end zone. 41-40. Clark too strong.
And again, this is where Cincinnati's going to be careful not to get lulled into playing the Memphis tempo. You know, one pass to Gary Clark and a shot is not the way Cincinnati wants to play.
Poor pass from Lawson, knocked out of bounds. Fortunately for Memphis, they'll get it back.
And once again, second possession where you see the high-low action that Memphis is trying to execute. Pulling Lawson outside, hoping that the defense follows and allowing Shaq Goodwin to go one-on-one. Still got to deliver the ball.
Still do.
Oh, good.
Almost a turnover on 2 different passes.
Kraft did a nice job of coming to the ball.
He's a very sturdy guard. Lawson can't hit. Been cold all night. And another turnover. Good steal this time by Kraft. Crawford, no, but a foul.
And that's Memphis Tiger basketball. Quick transition, lightning quick. beating the defense down. Take a look. Kraft with a nice job of delivering it early and splitting the defense. Crawford does a nice job, avoids the offensive foul and draws one himself.
The last foul was a big one. It was the third on Clark. Markel Crawford at the line.
McConnell's going to roll the dice. No one at the scorer's table to replace Clark. He's going to see how much he's learned as a sophomore how to play with 3 fouls.
Tied at 41. Been a close one throughout. Anytime one team gets a little breathing room, the other comes right back.
Well, look at the battle between Goodwin and Ellis. These guys are bumping and grinding.
Thomas gets it inside. A miss. And the follow. Shaq Goodwin battling inside.
Octavius Ellis, though, with the second effort. And here they are on the other end guarding each other. The officials are letting them play, but not for long.
Three out of the corner, too strong. Copain back the other way. Cobb, scoreless so far. And he's been their go-to guy offensively all year long. Ellis backing in. Double team the lane, tries a behind the back pass. And a turnover for Cincinnati. Here comes Tarrant. Tarrant with a runner, no offensive rebound. And that is going to be a foul, I believe, on Octavius Ellis. That's his second.
Well, Memphis continues to push the ball up the floor. Cincinnati's got to do an even better job of getting back. They had some guys back, but not enough to match up.
Non-shooting foul. Evans will come in, and now Clark will sit.
Yeah, Clark's got the 3. You want to protect him, and Ellis being replaced by DeBerry. So Mick Cronin deciding that he can, with a 2-point lead, live without his starting forwards, at least for a few minutes.
See if he can nurse it for a while and give them a breather and let the clock tick down. Lawson against the shorter Copain, missed the shot. One and done.
See, that's where Lawson needs to understand how to attack.
On the run, basket and the foul.
And that, my friends, is how you attack.
Shaq Thomas with 10. He'll have a chance for 11.
Thomas just, as a trailer on that break, finds a lane and goes to the basket hard. Comparatively, on the other end, when Lawson got the ball in the paint, he continues to fade away, even with smaller players on him. He's got to be able to go strong with that size and that length.
Thomas out of Patterson, New Jersey, moving up the all-time games played list. He will finish his career in the top 10. This is his 121st game tonight.
I knew there was a reason why Shaq Thomas seems like he's been there forever.
See, he does seem like he has been here forever.
Because he has.
Yeah, that's right. And he's been playing and starting forever. Out to Memphis. Cincinnati has built the lead back to 5. Crawford to inbound. Cincinnati contending every pass. Shot clock at 4. Goodwin has to fire off balance. Excellent defensive series by Cincinnati.
The Goodwin forced to do something he's not normally going to do.
Cobb, the dangerous outside shooter, finally gets a bucket. And the Bearcats are up by 8.
And be very careful, and I think Josh Pastner knows it. You get a guy like Farad Cobb started. He's very streaky.
It's a good timeout trying to stop the momentum built by the Bearcats. Cincinnati Bearcats. They are at 3-3, tied for 7th. They need this win at home, probably more than Memphis needs an upset on the road. Memphis 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, in a situation like that, guarding and holding your home service is paramount.
Offensive rebound by Nick Marshall. Can't get it to fall, and he is the 6'11" freshman out of Lexington, Tennessee, seeing his first action of the night. The lead still 8. The commitment to basketball and its facilities for the Bearcats, and Oscar Robertson, who attends virtually every home game, will have to spend 1 year either going to TD Bank Arena downtown to the old Cincinnati Gardens. They have not made up their mind and made arrangements where they will play that season.
Tell you what, though, no matter where he goes, 50 some odd years later, it's still going to be the house that he built.
Oh, absolutely. Shaq Thomas backs out to Cobb.
Strong post-up move by DeBerry.
Rimmed out on the jump hook. Offensive rebound. Cincinnati with a new 30.
I like the way DeBerry's demanding the ball inside, and that's why he got it that last time.
You would not recognize him if you saw him from a year ago with all the weight he has lost. He is in much better shape and can give them more minutes. And he can set a mean screen, can't he? Then they turn it over. And a jump ball. Good hustle by Copain to get back and tie it up against Tarrant.
And even better, the ability to tie him up without drawing the foul, because Tarrant's on the ground. A lot of guys would just dive right on him. Instead, Copain just grabbed at the ball.
DeBerry, bad exchange, but Copain gets it back. And then Thomas not looking as Copain tries to hit in.
Now, who do you fault on that situation? Unfortunately, you have to fault the passer. You don't throw a pass unless you see the guy looking at you.
One of the few mistakes Troy Copain has made tonight.
That's been a rule. You can't make eye contact with the guy you're passing to. Don't throw it.
Each possession gets bigger for Memphis as they try to cut into what was an 8-point lead. Woodson has had a big ball game offensively. Goes inside. What a jam by Burrell. My goodness. Treshawn Burrell down the baseline. He has 11.
And Burrell wiry enough, easy for me to say, and explosive enough to fit right through that small opening.
And Burrell at the other end with a block on Ellis.
Man, there's not a whole lot of room. Well, first of all, there's the block on this end as Burrell gets behind Ellis.
The first block of the night for Memphis. Cincinnati has 5.
Remember, Memphis, top 3 in the nation in shots blocked, averaging almost 7 per game.
This is going to be a push on Marshall.
Here we go. Not a lot of room on that baseline. You take a look right here.
Well, that's strong.
And right between the defenders, you take a look at Evans and Ellis. And as I said, wiry, strong. Burrell goes right between and over and creates a poster.
Getting more and more physical as this game wears on. Copain down the lane, hangs in the lane, and knocks it down. 17 points for Troy Copain, only 3 off of his career high of 20. Picked a great night to explode offensively. Good one. Beautiful move down the lane, switched hands at the end and used the window.
Yeah, Shaq Goodwin, his mobility very much underrated. He can put it on the floor.
Ellis with a left hand had it blocked as he tried to score. Second block in 3 possessions for Memphis. And they're trying to go inside and power it up. That time it was Marshall, and he draws the foul.
Take a look at the top. Goodwin recognizes in that defense, the middle guy in the back line comes up to play him. So what does he do? Puts it on the floor and goes right past him.
I mean, 3 on Ellis, so he and Clark both have 3.
That's one of the keys when you're playing against the zone. If you're the guy right around the free throw line or below, if you turn and face, and that's the first rule, you turn and face the defense, you recognize that middle guy is coming towards you, put it on the floor and take him to the basket because there is no help.
Marshall, only a 54% free throw shooter on the season, will get another one. And it's 51-48, his first point of the ball game. And he will sit for Memphis.
Big fella gave him some decent minutes.
Yes, he did. Memphis with a solid bench. They can go quite deep and still get production.
28 points, if you want to call that production.
Yeah.
They've outscored Cincinnati's bench 28-9.
Double team down low, but Ellis goes right through it. Octavius Ellis has 8. Try to get it inside to Goodwin, but knocked away. Cincinnati has done an excellent job playing defense and forcing turnovers tonight, which is their trademark.
Well, Octavius Ellis slips the screen, and Lawson gets there a little too late. Once Ellis is able to dribble into that paint and get both feet in the paint, it's too late. Help side has got to come a lot quicker.
Woodson commits his second personal foul, non-shooting. Copain couldn't buy that one. Burrell back the other way, gets it out to Avery Woodson, who has kept Memphis in this game. Avery Woodson with 14 points, and they have cut the lead back to 2. No quit in the Tigers.
When you talk about bench production by Memphis, it is those 2 guys right there who connected, Burrell and Woodson.
Thomas, smooth. Shaq Thomas has a big night tonight offensively with 13 points. We've got a time on Anderson. They'll have all the Australian Open highlights, college hoops, NBA, plus let you know if the Blackhawks win streak hits 13. SportsCenter at night tonight after Ohio State, Purdue on ESPN. And Purdue, the top rebounding club in the United States. Double teamed inside as Shaq Goodwin has his shot rejected.
And you saw right away out of that timeout, Memphis wanted to go at Ellis, who has 3 fouls. But he did a nice job of avoiding the foul and still providing some defense.
That foul was on Dedrick Lawson, his 3rd. Copain pass a little strong to Johnson, who may have hurt a finger. Trying to corral that one. Yeah, it cracked. Copain again. May have gotten away with a push-up, then lost it out of bounds.
And see, that's the subtlety of the quickened pace.
Johnson still shaking that hand.
You know, right now, in most of the games over the last month or so that Cincinnati's played, this score would be with about 3 minutes left in the 50s. Instead, with about 11 minutes left, they're at 50s. This is going to be in the 80s.
Thomas with a lob and Clark with a finish. Cincinnati showing you it can run too. And the lead at 6. And I'm not sure what that was by Tarrant. I think it was more of a pass and nobody got there. Ellis looked inside for Clark.
It's imperative for Cincinnati to pick its spots when it wants to run and play quickly, when it wants to execute in the half court. And Memphis, they need to continue to get shots, get possessions. They're a volume scoring team.
Johnson got his own miss and burned it. How about that? Biggest lead of the night. And right back the other way comes Trishan Burrell. Boy, has he hit some big shots tonight.
And against Memphis tonight, you have no time to celebrate. Kevin Johnson in that corner had his teammates exhorting him to shoot. And right back at you, Treshawn Burrell.
If you spend any time patting yourself on the back, your man goes by you. Good rebound inside by Lawson, and he's fouled on the rebound.
Look at the push right here, and Shaq Thomas delivers it on the money to Gary Clark. And then another look, and Clark running the floor. No one says Cincinnati can't score. And right there, look at everybody surrounding. Shoot it! I did. And he gets a little congratulations. He turns around and says, thanks, fellas.
That last foul was a big one because it was on Octavius Ellis, his fourth. Just under 10 minutes to go in the game, and he has to sit.
Yeah, for several possessions, that's what Memphis' intention was. Going to Shaq Goodwin down low. Now they're going to work on Gary Clark, who has 4 fouls.
Burrell kicks it into the corner for the runner from Sam Kraft. Well, Memphis just keeps coming back, don't they?
They do. As I said, they keep finding ways to get possessions. They'll get up a lot of shots because they're only a 40% field goal shooting team, but that volume scoring has served them well.
Thomas slashed inside, had it blocked. Burrell on the run. That was a walk, and they call it.
Yeah, he lost his footing. And I like the way Josh Pastner comes out and tells his guys to calm down. You know, keeps their head in the game instead of worried about what's happening, even though Burrell's still a Cleveland's case.
What did John Wooden say? You got to hurry, but don't rush.
That's right. Be quick, not in a hurry.
Knew it was something like that.
I got you.
Crowd taking a little breath here with 9:02 to go. Copain fouled by Kraft, and that's one of those freedom of movement calls.
And Kraft was too busy on the gridiron. He wasn't around when they were training to play defense with your feet.
Basketball coaches usually like football players because of that tough mentality that they bring to this sport.
And if they're not out there on the floor during games, they certainly, you know, impress upon their team in practice.
Clark lost it.
Case of being too unselfish.
Burrell, and he's undercut.
Well, it all began with the turnover. Gary Clark, too unselfish. Once you get in the paint, you know, you don't have to make the outstanding pass. Get it up on the glass. Your man had good offensive rebound position.
Burrell has had an outstanding offensive night. Hits that free throw. 15 points for the guy who averages 9.7 on the season. He has looked much better than that tonight. Nice touch at the free throw line, and it's 60-58. If you're a Memphis fan, you have to love the tenacity they have shown tonight.
You know, on the road, it's hard when you drop down 8 or 9 to continue to come back, and that's what Memphis has done. They've done it not only with defense, but again, extra possessions, pretty good shots. Nobody covered. Look at that.
Oh, what a great pass. Goodwin scores on the touch pass. We're tied at 60. And Mick Cronin didn't like that. The 7th tie of the ball game. His interior defense failed there.
Communication breakdown.
ESPN, the Heat and Toronto to battle the Raptors at 8 Eastern, then at 10:30. The Warriors, who haven't lost at home this year, they'll look to keep the streak rolling against the Pacers. Speaking of loving to watch, if the Warriors aren't as much fun as you can possibly have watching a basketball game.
Well, it's the ball movement, it's the fundamental soundness, and certainly the genius of Steph Curry. I'd pay my own money to watch him.
might pay yours first.
I was going to say, you pay mine first.
Copain hasn't been as much of a factor in the second half. Burrell's handled the ball pretty well, too, and shot brilliantly. Burrell with the three, and look at this. The Tigers are on top, 63-60.
And the damage has been done by two guys off the bench, not the starters. But Trayshawn Burrell and Avery Woodson have just been dynamite.
The bench has been terrific. Cobb almost got caught up in the air. Kicks it to the corner for Shaq Thomas, and he's showing his range. What a good ball game this has been. Goodwin with a runner.
Quadri
The
Moore
guys are showing off their skills tonight.
Quadri Moore is no match for Shaq Goodwin inside. You saw good ball spacing, or good man spacing, I should say, to get the ball inside to Shaq Goodwin. Take a look at the help.
Copain into the lane, pull-up jumper, no. Offensive rebound to Clark, had to take it away from behind. And it will be Memphis basketball, much to the disgust of Mick Cronin, to play right in front of the Cincinnati bench. And Goodwin goes to the free throw line, 72% this year. Too strong, and Cobb with a rebound. Tigers by 2, 6.5 minutes left.
And right now, with both Clark and Ellis out of the game, you know, the perimeter offensive guys are the ones that are going to have to step up right now.
Where does your rebounding come from with this lineup? Nice reverse. Shaq Thomas with 18 points. That matches his career high.
And Thomas, as a senior, I think the light bulb has come on now. This is his last go-round. It's time to give it what you got.
We've seen Cincinnati a lot. This is the best game I've ever seen him play. Goodwin, nice touch inside, gets the roll. Memphis back on top by a bucket.
And not a defender near Shaq Goodwin. As I said, Quadri Moore, sophomore, doesn't get a whole lot of time.
If you're Mick Cronin, how long do you wait until you bring in your two-star forwards with those 4 fouls?
Well, you're going to have to wait and see if your perimeter guys stall. Right now, it's okay. You continue to trade baskets, you buy time, maybe come back with 2:30 if you need to. But the minute you stall, you got to bring them back. Talk about Shaq Thomas on this end. And his counterpart, not quite namesake, on the other end. He's going to Shaq attack.
Certainly has. Those two guys together are about as big as the original Shaq.
Speaking of which, when you think about all the young men whose names are Shaq or Shaquille, all born right around the time Big Fella was in his prime.
You bet.
What an impact culturally. Because prior to that, I'd never heard the name Shaquille.
Me either. Copain at the line, 17 points. Give him 18. He's only 2 off of his career high.
Now here's where we go back to the original premise about controlling that paint. And also tempo. Cincinnati's got it slowed down now, where they can execute on the defensive end, play their brand as well as offensively. But Memphis, with their outside shooting and also the foul trouble,
they've had one backing in. And it rejected.
Remember, Ellis has 4 fouls and blocked that shot.
Great defense. Copain with a crossover dribble, kicks it outside. Jumper won't go for Thomas. Burrell into the lane. Contact, no whistle. Johnson back the other way. Run and gun, and Johnson will draw a foul. Really surprised they let that one go at the other end of the court. John Goodwin, his 3rd.
Once again, battling for position to get the highest percentage shots. both ends of the floor. Nobody's settling. Keep trying to take it to the other team. Draw the fouls, get to the line.
Kevin Johnson with 8 tonight. He'll get another. This is why games like this, they didn't want Mick Cronin coaching last year when he was sick.
I'm not sure if it was that easy for him sitting in his office.
I'm sure it wasn't. That was a grind, too. 1-point lead for Cincinnati.
The difference is got a little more fun here. He's in somewhat control as far as substitutions, tactical, and strategic. Sitting at home, man, he just got nothing to do but go to the refrigerator for another soft drink.
Lawson lost it on the way in, but last touched by Cincinnati. 9 on the shot clock.
Take a look at the drive right there. A lot of contact. Ellis avoids the 5th foul.
That ball's kicked, so they'll put 15 back on the shot clock. A break for Memphis. Burrell inbounds. Five to shoot. Burrell trying to extend his range, couldn't hit that one.
One of the few times Memphis settled for a jump shot instead of working the defense. That may prove to cost them. As I mentioned before, from a tempo standpoint, this is what Cincinnati wants to do. Half court, exploit the D best they can, high percentage.
Evans goes with the left hand, but the tip-in is good. Octavius Ellis now with 10 points. That might have been the play of the game. What a tip. That one spins out off the hand of Lawson. One and done. Lawson has not been an offensive factor tonight, and he is the leading scorer for the Memphis Tigers.
Right now, Cincinnati establishing themselves a little bit more than Memphis in the paint.
Mick Cronin saying, let's take some time off this clock. Ellis calling for the ball inside. Now comes out, sets a screen for Copain. Troy Copain with a new career high, 21 points tonight. And a standing ovation from the home court fans. Set by 7 percentage points. Troy Copain with a career high. Burrell barely off of his with 19 points in this game. A couple guys who have really stepped up tonight.
They talked about whoever commands the paint wins this game. Memphis has a 3-rebound advantage, but 9 second chance points like Cincinnati has really helped them.
Burrell buries another big shot. Burrell now with 22 points, and that matches his career high.
While Cincinnati holds that 38-22 advantage in the paint, Memphis has really lived with the three-point shooting, and Trayshawn Burrell and Avery Woodson are 8 of 11 combined from beyond the arc.
And on the season, they are not a good three-point shooting team. Johnson will drive along.
I'm not understanding that shot right there, and I don't think Mick Cronin is either.
We go under 2 minutes in a 2-point game.
And you talk about another guy who stepped up to play. Shaq Thomas tied his career high in points with 18.
With some outstanding individual performances. 7 to shoot. Woodson tries a tough lob. I don't think Josh Pastner was real thrilled with that offensive sequence either.
It's one of those shots, though, 2 inches lower, and Burrell knocks it down, stuffs it down, and Josh Pastner jumps out of his seat. But right now, yeah, he probably showed some concern.
Mick Cronin says, let's talk about it tonight.
As I said, one finds his strength on the offensive glass. The other finds his strength shooting the three. One finds his strength in the paint. The other finds his strength in creating turnovers and scoring points off turnovers. So each team playing to their strengths.
Copain, there's contact. And the foul will be on Tarrant. Only his second. And Copain, who already has a career night, will go to the line where he's a 75.9% free throw shooter. Got it.
The one thing about Troy Copain, I can tell you this, you know, whether he's had success or not, he has never been afraid or back down from the big shot or getting to the free throw line to make the big shot. And that's leadership.
Well, he is having a heck of a junior year. 23 points for Copain. The lead is 4. Huge possession for Memphis right here.
Again, remember, Octavius Ellis has 4 fouls.
3 out of the corner won't go.
And with 4 fouls, I cannot believe Memphis did not explore Shaq Goodwin inside. That early in the shot clock, you take a chance. Ellis isn't going to play, he's going to foul you. And if he does foul you, you got him out of the game. You get into the free throw line. 2 benefits.
And Memphis not going to foul here, trying to play defense on this possession. It's a very dangerous choice because they've already worked it down to 30. Copain, could he do it again? No. Tipped outside. Johnson tried to keep it alive. Here comes Lawson on the run. That is blocked at the rim. They'll still get a chance at a 3. No good from Woodson. And there's the foul with 11 seconds to go. What defense by the Bearcats. That's their calling card.
Tell you what, Shaq Thomas, you mentioned it. That's the best game I've seen him play.
Yes, sir.
In a Bearcat uniform. And I understand what Josh Passion was doing by not fouling. You got an opportunity to come down and score, and then a quick foul, and then you come down, you got an opportunity to score again. I mean, that rather than put them on the line, particularly a guy like Copain, who's got ice water in his veins.
Memphis struggling down the stretch with its shooting. The Tigers have hit only 1 of their last 7. And now the offensive defensive substitutions by Mick Cronin.
Now the questionable element of Memphis' attack is not what the coach intended, but what they did on the last possession. Opportunity to go inside to Shaq Goodwin, who's got 1 guy on his back, Octavius Ellis, and 4 fouls.
It is a 2-possession game. Woodson can't get the 3. Flushed by Burrell at the buzzer, but too little, too late. And the Bearcats win it by 4 to go to 14-6.